Very quickly to a top man. Great article, page 10 of The Sun today. It's column. The excellent Ross Clark. Ross, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Jeremy. Fine.
This has gone absolutely nuts this morning. It's extraordinary, the response to Shabana Mahmood. You go on a really clever angle this morning. You say, now really get tough and block aid to countries who don't take back all failed asylum seekers. And I want to throw into that with you the fact that the response here has been almost incredulous disbelief that we as a country are saying, thanks for coming illegally, we're going to deport you, but we're going to give you a minimum of $3,000 to do it. And in your case as well, we're not even sure if your country will take you back. I am so with you. Why are we giving foreign aid to country who won't take their own people back that shouldn't be here in the first place? Top point.
Why? I don't know. You'll have to ask Shabana Mahmood that. I mean, it is frankly ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, you're going to give 3,000, 4,000. I mean, you know, the current limit is 3,000. Yeah. She's intending to raise that, so it could be thousands above that. And I mean, that's going to give people even more of an incentive to come here. And then, you know, if you manage to make it to Britain, well, if you either you stay and work in the black economy, or you if you get deported, you then get paid thousands of pounds. You cannot lose, isn't it? I mean, it's a game where you absolutely will not be able to lose. But it's extraordinary, isn't it, that even bunging illegal migrants several £1,000s is too much for backbench Labour MPs, because, you know, it's cruelty, according to some of them. And you understand, I'm listening to Labour MPs yesterday, you understand why this government is never ever going to make any meaningful measures to cut illegal migration, because there is a sizable portion of Labour MPs who will never ever accept any kind of measure to slow down, prevent migration. To them, you know, no illegal migrant ever took advantage of the asylum system. No criminal or terrorist ever tried to sneak into Britain as asylum seekers. It's just, you know, for them, you know, nothing short of offering illegal migrants a 4-star hotel with room service, anything, you know, less than that is fascism, according to them. And you really despair. You know, Shabana Mahmood, you know, has been pilloried. She's been sort of attacked as if she's some kind of fascist by these people. But all the while she's actually promising to line their pockets with thousands of pounds.
It is extraordinary as well. You make such a good point about, you know, I was on the way and the 5 o'clock news from ITN, and this another Labour lefty going, we're demonising, you know, poor people from war-torn countries. And I'm bored of having the argument that France isn't war-torn, and if you were leaving a war-torn country, you bring your kids. I'm bored of that. What I'm going to say now is I wonder whether these politicians are listening to the British people, because in your article today in the Sun, Ross, and page 10, you're absolutely spot on. People's patience is wearing thin. We're so morally up our own backside, we're still giving foreign aid to countries who are blatantly taking advantage. We're allowing people into our country because we're not strong enough to say don't come. Then we're papering over the cracks. Then we're giving them money to leave. And all the while, and I keep saying this, and people hate this, but I'm just being straight, to the absolute disadvantage of the indigenous population. And I just don't believe these politicians are listening, pal, do you?
No, they're not. And, you know, on the subject of the war-torn country, you know, anybody come from a war-torn country, crowds of young males come from a war-torn country, and we're expected to shelter them. Can you imagine how the USA would have reacted in 1939, 1940, if boatloads of young British men started arriving on the eastern seaboard, trying to escape the war? You know, in Ukraine, we don't accept, Ukraine won't allow young males to leave the country because they're expected to stay and fight. Afghanistan, which provided the greatest number of illegal migrants to this country last year, they put absolutely no effort whatsoever to repel the Taliban when they returned in 2021. And yet, so many of them just fled their country and expect to be sheltered here. Why didn't they not fight for their own country and allow it to be taken over by this bunch of Islamists and, then expect to come here? But no, I mean, this is completely ridiculous. Public opinion has really turned against the government on this, and yet still these backbench Labour MPs think, it makes them good people to oppose any measure to stop this.
Do you know, that is such a good way. We have to wrap, but they'd rather be seen as good people. But here's the question, million-dollar question. At what point does their apparent morality, wanting to be seen as a good person, end? Because they'll look at the opinion polls under Starmer or Mahmood or whatever and go, I am seriously screwed. I'm going to have to do something. There's the question. Very, very quickly. 20 seconds on that, Ross.
Yeah, well, no, I think a lot of them would rather go down and die in the last ditch to defend a policy of open borders, rather than listen to the people who elected them. And I certainly can't see them being elected again, so long as they fail totally to tackle migration. Good luck to Shabana Mahmood, but I'd give it a week before she sort of, with backtracking, apologising profusely to backbench Labour MPs and withdraws all these proposals.
Ross, brilliant as ever. Thank you so much. Excellent article today. Page 10 of The Sun, now really get tough and block aid to countries who don't take back failed asylum seekers. Good morning.